Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. I'm Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States, out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Let me know that you can hear. All right. I'm using a different setup, and I'm up in Michigan, so I wasn't sure if it was going to work or not. I hope you all are doing well. This is the 225th episode of the Immigration Answer Show. I'm Jim Hacking. I'll be with you here for an hour. If you haven't already, go ahead and leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. I see Nyama's watching from Houston. Raphael's in Tampa. VLMS watching from Frisco, Texas. My son's girlfriend's from Frisco, Texas, so that's pretty interesting. Glad to see everybody here with us today. Looks like we already have some people in the waiting room. I'm up in Michigan on vacation, so we'll be doing shows today, tomorrow, and Thursday. I'll be off, taking the day off on Wednesday and Friday. We got Pedro watching in San Juan, Texas. I never heard of San Juan, Texas. Mamadou's watching in Memphis. We got MD in North Dakota. So we got people all over the place. Let's get right to it. I don't have any real news for you because, like I said, I'm on vacation. I've been sort of goofing off. So let me go ahead and start with Mandy. Hi, Mandy.
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me?
I got you. How you doing?
Good. Very good. Thank you for doing these live studios, and thank you for taking time on your day off and your vacation to.
My pleasure. What can I help you with?
So I am a Canadian citizen. I married an American citizen and applied for change of status. Actually, I was on the show and asked you a question before a few months ago. So I'm still waiting for my interview. And in the meantime, I have I have now the travel permit approved. So now I'm holding the I-512L, the event Parole.
Yep.
So I have left travel back and forth from Vancouver, where I live, and then Houston, where my husband is. So my question is, while I'm waiting for my green card, can I work in Canada? Because I don't want to wait for, like, if it takes another year or two, I don't want to have no work, and I can't work in the U.S. without social security number and a work permit. So in the meantime, I have some job offers in Canada. Can I work here?
So yes, the answer is yes, you can work there. You're going to confuse them though with they're going to, in their mind, they're going to be wondering, what happened. So did you enter on visa waiver, or did you enter on a visa when you came to the United States?
When I first came to the United States, it was a tourist visa as a Canadian citizen.
Yeah.
And 5-6 months after we got married, and then applied for change of status.
And when did you get fingerprinted?
In November last year, and then I submitted my application in August.
So you received advance parole, but you haven't received work authorization.
Yeah, so I received my advance parole only 2 months ago, but I actually did not apply for the work permit in the U.S. because I was told, I don't know, maybe bad advice from someone. If I apply for the travel permit and work permit together, then it'll take longer for my travel permit to get approved. So now that my travel permit is approved, should I apply for the work permit?
Yeah, I would have applied for both of them together.
Okay, I didn't know that because I was told it'll take longer for my travel permit to approve if I submit my work permit together because there's a backlog. So now I don't have the work permit application in yet. I can do it right away.
Yeah. So walk me through what you're thinking with advance parole. So are you in Canada now?
Right now I'm in Canada, yeah. So I travel back and forth because my family, I have my father and my grandma here who I visit regularly.
Yep.
So, and I want during this time when I'm waiting for green card, can I get a work from remote job employed in Canada and just travel back and forth by advance parole?
So advance parole is supposed to be for temporary travel abroad. It's not supposed to be, and the problem is when you're sitting across from this officer, you're going to have a heck of a time explaining all this. This isn't going to make any sense to them. They're not going to understand why you applied for advanced parole but not work authorization. They're not going to understand why you didn't apply for both of them together. They're not going to understand why, if you wanted to stay in Canada, you didn't just file the I-130 but instead filed the 45. I think it's almost like you're attacking the system with all the weird things that you're doing. Does that make sense?
Okay, so in that case, do you advise that I immediately apply for work permit now, even though it's not in the same time, but at least I will be applying for it, and in the meantime, not take any jobs in Canada?
I don't think you want to take. I just. How do you explain if the purpose of advanced parole is for temporary travel abroad while the green card case is pending? How do you then explain after the fact at your green card interview that you use that advanced parole to go back and work in Canada? I just don't know how that conversation is going to go well.
Yeah, I understand. It doesn't sound good. My reason is I don't want to have no job, like no work.
Right. And then they're going to say, well, why didn't you just file for work authorization at the same time? I mean, I don't know. It's
right.
Now that you're in the boat that you're in, I would advise against working out of the country on advanced parole. I've never had anyone do that.
Okay. But does it sound really bad now that I apply for work permit?
Not bad. Just weird.
Okay.
But see, the problem is when things are weird, when you confuse them, then they just put it up on the shelf and then they just sit on the green card, which of course is the whole shoot and match.
Yes. Okay, so I'll apply for the work permit. In my interview, they'll ask me why didn't I apply at the same time.
Yeah, and then you just tell them what you told me, because that's the truth, that somebody told you that. And the funny thing is, you might be right. It seems like you got your advanced parole pretty quickly. So the advice might have actually been right. But to me, if we had talked, and maybe we did talk about this when you came on the show before, but I'm always about the hierarchy of wants, right? Like the thing we want the most is the green card. So do we want to do things that put the green card at risk? No. Then next up, advanced parole. I would have said whatever marginal speed up you get of the advanced parole by filing for it separately from the work card is probably offset by the weird position you put yourself in by not having a work authorization. I mean, work authorization is the proof of status. That's what allows you. I don't know if you already have a social security number, but that's what allows you to get a social security number, open a bank account, and start building that marital life evidence that you're going to need at your green card interview. So I think the priorities got a little bit out of whack early on. I think if you explain it that way to the officer, they should get it, but they'll be confused.
Okay. Yeah, I did wanted my travel permit, or that was higher priority because my grandma was ill.
Yeah.
Want my work permit, which was not very urgent.
Right. So then to now come in later and say, now I really needed to work, so I went back to Canada, then they're going to be like, something doesn't feel right.
Okay. Thanks so much. Much more clear now. My last question is, now if the green card takes too long and I one day abandoned my application because if it's taking too long, I need to give birth. I want to give birth in Canada.
Oh, okay.
And in that case, I might have to abandon my application if it's taking too long. If I do abandon it, what is the process? And once I leave Canada, I leave the U.S., will I be barred from entry to the U.S. again?
Probably make it a lot harder to come on a non-visa situation like as a Canadian. What's the? I mean, when you filed in November and you filed in September,
I filed August 10th, early August.
Yeah. So you should probably have your interview. Is this going to be Dallas or Houston or what?
I'm in Houston. Well,
yeah. So you'll probably have your interview this August or September. So I hope you don't have to abandon your application.
Okay, so that's not a good, because if it's taking too long, I'm just thinking a possibility is.
I'm asking you what's too long. I guess that's my question.
If I don't hear back from them in 2023 summer.
2023 summer. So.
Yeah, the summer of 2023. If I don't.
Oh, you're gonna have it by then. Oh yeah. You'll have it by the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not gonna take that long.
Okay. So best is not to abandon any application because it's gonna mess up.
Yep.
Okay. And during this time, am I considered a Canadian resident?
You mean like today while you're in Canada?
Well, because I've already overstayed in the US and I've stayed in US for more than 6 months last year. And right now, my status, am I still a Canadian resident?
You mean overstayed because you got married and applied for
Yeah.
a green card?
Yeah.
That's not an overstay. So don't use that language. That's not an overstay. You applied for adjustment. So I would get overstay out of your vocabulary because that's just a loaded term that again is going to throw them off at the interview if you say that word.
Okay. So for Canada, am I still a Canadian resident?
I have no idea.
Okay. So that's not, I guess, not relevant because I was applying for green card. Okay. Thank you so much. That cleared, and I will not work in Canada. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mandy. See ya. Good luck. All right. You know, a lot of times Canadian people have sort of weird things happen because it's so easy to go back and forth that sometimes they just sort of play a little bit loose with things, and it can get a little bit confusing. So hopefully everything will get squared away for old Mandy. That sounds like she's on the right track, and I think it's a good idea not to get to work. Let's say hi to Mohammed. Good morning, Mohammed.
Yeah, hi, Jim. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for your live shows. Actually, I'm happy with it.
Awesome.
Thank you. Awesome. Now, I came to US on B1, B2 visa, and I was like having a petition through my brother, and back in 2007. So I got the approval of the petition on 2009. And I came to US like several times, like as a tourist, going back and forth. But the last time, which is this time, I came on September 27, 2021. And after 4 weeks, of stay, I was planning to go back. But what happened, there was like a military coup happened in the country where I was residing. So I was not able to go back. So on that particular issue, I have decided to, apply for filing adjustment of status. Okay, based on my petition,
Was the
which
visa number
was already current.
Okay. Okay.
Like my filing dates in the visa bulletin is current on January 2022. So based on that circumstances, I wrote a letter to USCIS along with my submission.
You filed a 485
for I-485 and I-765, both of them. And
Okay.
I received notice from USCIS on 14th of February. And then I have done the biometrics on April 5th. Now I'm waiting for the I-765 approval. Or now my question is, like, I have read a lot about the 245I and 245C2 that I have to maintain a lawful presence. During the submissions, because I'm not like an immediate relative.
That's right.
So, okay. So,
did you file for an extension of your B1, B2?
No, I didn't actually. I've just wrote them a letter, which mentioned that there was like a military coup, and I hope that you approved my my adjustment. So if they're gonna deny my application now, what should I do? Do I have to submit a waiver, or do I have to submit an asylum? Right. I don't know.
So when did you?
I'm Palestinian. I'm a Palestinian, and I have no place to go. Actually, I was like residing in Sudan, the country where the coup, or a TPS maybe. Okay, I have nowhere to go. I'm homeless, honestly.
When did you enter the United States, Mohammed?
I entered on September 27, 2021. I have been here now. My expiry date of my non-immigrant is March 26, 2022. Now I've been here for 4 months without permanent, without lawful presence.
So when you started telling your story, Muhammad, I figured I knew where you were going. I didn't get the military coup part of it, but I figured, so in my life as an immigration lawyer, I've never had someone with a long pending approved I-130 have their priority date become current while they're in the United States on a B1, B2. I've never had that happen, right?
No, yeah, exactly. But what happened is like I I I, I have never intended, I mean, to stay in
Yeah.
the U.S.
No, I know. Listen, though,
You
but
know.
I've never had that happen, okay?
Mhm.
I have had non-immediate relatives apply for adjustment while in valid status. And I've had some who've maintained their status all the way through to the interview, and I've had some who've maintained their status, who've not maintained their status all the way through to the interview. And I've had both get approved, right? So I would not have told you to apply for adjustment of status. That makes me nervous. I certainly would have had you file for an extension of status of your B1, B2, or even applied for asylum. It sounds like, well, but you could, they would argue you'd be asking for asylum from Palestine, so you'd have to make that case. But at the end of the day, you should have done something before March 26th besides apply for adjustment. You
Yeah, exactly.
should have done something to preserve your non-immigrant visa status. So the problem now is you can't file for an extension because it's already past the 6 months. And,
Exactly.
And you're now, so then the question is, you're going to have 6 months of unlawful presence as of September, when you're the 1 year anniversary of your entry.
Exactly. I mean, on 26th of September, I'm gonna have 6 months unlawful presence.
I mean, to me, I'm wondering if you shouldn't leave the United States, find somewhere else to go, and try to consular process on an immigrant visa with your valid I-130.
No, what happened actually when I was in Sudan, I already applied for MVC. I finished all the processing of the because they have sent me a welcome letter and on 2020, and I already applied and I filled the DS-260 and I paid all the fees, and I was like documentary qualified. So I was not having any intentions, I mean, to stay in the US.
It's not about your intention. It's not about your intention. Your intention's fine. No one's worried about your intention, and everyone's going to understand the timeline that you've laid out. I don't think this is a question about bad intentions. I think this is just a question about not having my status in order on the day that I want to adjust. That's the problem.
But I have read something, Mr. Jim. I mean, like, I don't know whether this is applicable to me or not. I was like reading, I mean, the whole night about this, and there is some sort of technical, I don't know. I mean, if you have heard about this, it's related to a technical that you have applied.
That's a technical falling out of status based on the failure of USCIS to adjudicate your application in a timely fashion, but that's not here.
Why? Because I already submitted.
Because you just filed your 485.
No, I filed I-485 when I was in lawful presence.
Yeah, but that technical violation doesn't absolve you of the responsibility of maintaining your status.
Like, I have 2 months. I mean, that the USCIS could have done something for me. I mean, like, within the 2 months. I mean, like,
I don't think you can hang your hat on that.
So, is there any other solution for that then?
Yeah, again, I think, I mean, again, I'm not your lawyer. I haven't reviewed your documents, but based on the timeline that you've given me, to me, the sensible thing to do is to try to revive the DQ'd case from the NVC and get an embassy interview somewhere. I think I'd be looking at where could I go for about a year or 9 months to try to consular process and come back to the United States. And it has to be an embassy that would be willing to accept the transfer from Sudan.
There's no any other country, I mean, accepts me, even if they have denied my adjustment, and I have gone into like deportation
Yeah.
proceedings.
Did you talk
Where
to,
should I go?
did you talk to lawyers before you didn't do anything before March 26th?
Well, I've talked to different lawyers, and
Did you talk to lawyers before
three
March
of
26th
them.
or after?
Yeah, I had actually I talked to one of the lawyers launched in YouTube, but I can't say his name, and he told me you are on status, and nobody can talk to you. I mean, like if you applied in the I-485, and based on what he said, I was like staying over here. Otherwise, I could leave before March 26th. But now, if I was like leaving, if I go back to Sudan before the anniversary, I mean, before the 6 months ends, I won't be into bar because
No,
the bar.
that's what I'm saying. I want you out of here before the 6 months. That's what I want you out of here before the 6 months, because I don't want you to get the 3-year bar. Mohammed, I got to let you go, brother. Good luck, my friend. All right, that was Mohammed. That was a complicated situation. We wish him the best of luck. Sounds like he might have gotten some bad advice at the outset. But at the very least, if you ever are here and you got a clock ticking, you need to file something to maintain your status. Let's say hi to Priyanka. Hi, Priyanka.
Hi, Jim. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'm good. A little stressed out, though everything is normal with my case. So right now I'm on H-1B, which has been extended till 2025. I'm living in Dallas, Texas, and I'm married to U.S. citizen. We got married on August 7, 2020, and we applied for my adjustment of status on March 12th, 2021. So since then, I received my EAD and travel card on October, and I did got another second fingerprinting in Feb, but I have no updates on my I-485 and I-130. So it's been 16 months now. So I involved my congressperson on May, and the update I got is probably I'll be eligible for interview waiver. But when I tried to contact the UCIS representative, they say my case is normally processing at NBC, and it's under processing time. So I don't know. I haven't seen my family. I have the travel card, but I have been advised not to travel internationally until it's a medical emergency. So I did try to expedite my I-485, but they said you already have a combo card, based on financial reasons. So they denied my expedite request. But I don't know at this point how long it's gonna take. So I'm kind of looking for some advice here.
Which field off is this? Dallas? You'll have your interview in Dallas if you have an interview?
It would be in Dallas, but right now the application is at NBC.
Anything about your case that you're worried about or that you think might have them worried?
I don't think so. I mean, I do have a medical condition. Medical condition, it's not even a medical condition. It's like hyperhidrosis, which has a problem in getting my fingerprints. But they took my first biometrics in August, and they did issue me an EAD and a travel document. And they took my another fingerprints in Feb. They said they wanted for I-130. And even before I adjusted my status from F1 to H-1B, there was no problem. Nothing, no criminal records, no biometrics issue. It's just they say, when I look into the timeline, it says you can't raise a service request until 23rd July 2023. I did raise service request for I-130 because the time has elapsed, but even I haven't heard anything from UCIS on that as well.
So the Northern District of Texas is where your lawsuit would be if you filed a lawsuit. To me, it's the best, one of the best jurisdictions. We really like the U.S. attorney there. I think if we sued them, you'd either get an interview or if they waived the interview and approved it within 90 days.
So what's the route to go via lawsuit? I did involve my congressperson and got a reply from congressperson that the interview waiver, it's in my email. But UCIS, I haven't received any letter or anything. But can I file a lawsuit even if it says it's under processing times, normal processing times?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you've waited long enough.
Yeah, and I'm in US.
In Dallas. Interviews in Dallas don't take that long. I know that for a fact.
Okay, so should I like when you say lawsuit, so what would be the way to go through that? Like, where should I like look for that?
So we've sued them 1,200 times. It's what I do all day long. So we file. It sounds really scary, like you're going to have to go to court and talk to a judge and all that stuff. That's not really what happens. What happens is you send us the I-130 and the 45 receipt notices. You send us proof of your status and maybe your combo card. We file a lawsuit in federal court in the Northern District of Texas. We ask a judge to order them to make a final decision on your case. It's not that the judge is going to decide the case. It's just that the judge is going to tell USCIS, hey, you guys have been sitting on this case for a long time. She needs an answer. We then mail a copy of the lawsuit to USCIS and to the Dallas field office. Once they receive it, a 60-day clock starts ticking. So usually within the first 30 or 45 days, they call me up and they say, Jim, here's what we're going to do on Priyanka's case. We're going to call her in for an interview, or we're just going to approve it, and then we're done. I just did this for a same-sex couple up in Maryland. They've been waiting 2.5 years, and they got a green card approved 16 days after we sued them. So it doesn't always work, but I think your case is just a little bit stuck, and I think a lawsuit would help in your case.
Yeah, and on August 7th, 2022, it will be like 2 years. So if we're gonna apply now, if I'm gonna get a 10 years card because it's more than 2 years for my marriage now.
If the green card is approved before August 7th, it'd be a 2-year card. If it's approved after August 7th, it'd be 10 years. So maybe wait until August 8th to sue them.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't even gotten a request for medical RFE as well. So I mean, I got it when I applied it, but I think first, if they're gonna even waive my interview, will they ask for my medical first, right?
Yes, they will. Yeah.
Okay. And another question I have is, can I travel internationally? Like, if there is no medical emergency, is it like safe when we apply?
Yeah.
Okay, but I have been advised like it. I mean, you are at the discretion of U.S. immigration officer on your return.
Yeah, that's always true. But I mean, I always tell people if you can avoid it, avoid it. Wait till you get the actual green card. But if you want to go, it should be okay.
Okay. One last thing. So I did do my name change, but in my passport, it's still my maiden name, and I'm not sending my passport for my name change because I'm worried like if they're gonna call me for interview, I should have my passport in that time period. So if I travel now with my marriage certificate and my passport with my maiden name, will it be a problem, or should I get that fixed first?
No, I think you should be okay. I mean, I generally tell people to wait with the name changing stuff until you get your citizenship, but it's okay. You should be fine. That's not gonna keep you from being able to enter the United States.
Got it. So for the lawsuit, I should like follow up on that email that I see in the link below.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Priyanka.
I think, that would be all. It's just like fingers crossed.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, bye. All right, that was Priyanka. Let's go to Carmeline. Hi, Carmeline.
Hello, Jim. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm great. So I have a question. Sorry, I have quite a cold. I actually have COVID. So there. But yeah, my question is, I'm actually here in the US. So I came here February 1st. The reason why I came here is because my parents are aging and because I haven't seen my parents for over 2 years because of the COVID situation. So I decided to stay here, and we were hoping to, get our petition approved. So my mother actually requested for or petitioned me for an application for the I-130, and so this was April 1st
of this year.
Yes.
And okay, so you came to visit mom like on a B1, B2.
Yes, I did.
And then while you're here, mom files an I-130 for you.
That's right. We were hoping that we may be considered for the expedite for humanitarian reasons because my dad is sickly, and it didn't happen. So they got denied for that. So now I'm looking for other options. What else to do? Because so the I-130 has been filed. So now I did file an extension because I'm only here until July 31st, but I did file an extension. It was June 10th, so way before the 45-day.
What's the basis for the extension?
I said that I actually have an exam for the CFA Society here by November. So that's just an online self study thing. But I really meant to go back if I should go back. I told them that I will go back after my exam is over, and also to figure out my parents' situation at the moment. So what they need to do, and what I mean, what next steps we will take in their situation, because they are elderly. They are in their 70s now, and my dad needs help because he has chronic kidney disease. He was a cancer survivor, and now we're just managing his illness. He's having dialysis 3 times a week, and that's actually more of the reason why my mom asked me to come here and help her out, because they don't have much relatives here in
Mhm.
LA, and it's really a problem because of course, I actually have a good career back home, and I just don't know how to help them if I'm here as not as a not.
What are your parents? What's their immigration status?
Oh, they are U.S. citizens.
How did were they born in the United States, or how did they become U.S. citizens?
Oh, my grandmother petitioned us, our whole family, way back in the 80s, I think. And it's just that my brother and we aged out. And when we aged out, and my parents got approval for their petition back in 2004, so they left. And my brother and I decided to stay back home because we were doing okay there. So
And
um,
no one filed an immigrant petition for you until just this April.
yeah, because back then, when my parents actually came here, they were thinking about the CSPA, but during that time they don't have much money, and they don't. The law was like kind of really new, and according to the other lawyers, they said that um, there's no guarantee that we will be approved for that one. So a year has passed, and we did nothing because we already decided that okay, by the time that they retire, they go back home, and that's it. But it's just that we didn't foresee that um, the medical condition of my dad will become this worse.
Yeah.
So I told them that they're better off here than back home.
So, so I appreciate everything that you told me about your parents, and I'm sorry that you all are going through that. My dad got
Thank
sick
you.
last year and died,
Mhm.
and my mother-in-law is on dialysis, so I empathize with
Oh,
it. But from an immigration standpoint, Carmeline, this is all jacked up. Everything you guys have done has been screwed up.
oh,
The
yeah.
I-130 was never going to work that your mother filed, that never should have been filed, because now that it has been filed, you'll probably never get another visit visa to the United States, because you've now demonstrated immigrant intent by having mom file an I-130 for you.
Mhm.
That was a really, really bad idea, because
Okay.
it was never going to work. They literally couldn't have done any kind of humanitarian give you the green card. That just isn't a thing. That
Mhm.
you have to wait in line like everybody else, and that was
Mhm.
never going to work. So the extension sounds like it's a thin extension case. If it's just to take an online course, I don't think USCIS is going to be compelled by that.
Mhm.
I don't think that's going to be approved. So I think you should seriously start thinking about, how do I not get in more immigration trouble myself, and then figure out what I'm going to
Mhm.
do with my parents. I think as far as you being able to stay here and help them, I just don't think that's very realistic.
Yeah. So there's no hope that I do a change of status, like as a student, right? I know that you answered that question before. Somebody asked that in your show.
Well,
So
first of all, that would be denied because you've demonstrated immigrant intent.
yeah.
You filed an I-130, so they're not going to believe you when you file for a change of status. One of the things they
Mhm.
want to make sure is that you're still planning on going back home, but you said, I want a green card, I want to stay here, and that's inconsistent
Yeah.
with F1. So, I mean, that's one piece, and then the other piece is the piece that you've heard me talk about before, which is in the old days, you could do a change of status from B1, B2 to F1 in about 3 months. But now it takes a year, so you would never even know. And I think you're going to start accruing unlawful presence here pretty soon.
Right. So I don't want to do that because I've been here a few times through work training,
Right.
and yeah, so that's what I'm telling my mom, that I can't be here and do work illegally, and
Right.
we have
Yeah,
to comply
I
with
think
the law.
I think you
So
really have to start thinking about maintaining your own immigration status and then dealing with the other stuff as it relates to that. If you don't get your immigration, I mean, you literally might not be able to come back here again. Like that's a very real possibility.
even if I'm in on a multiple visa.
Yeah, because if the next time you come through, they could say, "Hey, why did you file for a green card?" They said, "Why are you coming for? You were just here. I'm going to revoke this and put you on the plane back home at your
Oh, I
expense."
see.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is all bad.
Oh, is there any hope? I mean, can I just revoke the 130, and then?
You can't revoke the I-130. It's already been denied. And that's a bell you can't unring.
Oh, okay.
All right, Carmeline, good luck.
All right. Thank you so much, Jim.
Okay, bye-bye. Ooh, we're getting lots of hypotheticals today. Let's see if Ginger's there. Ginger, are you there? Paging Ginger. All right, we'll try to come back to Ginger. Let's go to Pedro. Hi, Pedro.
Hi there. Good afternoon, Jim. Thank you so much for taking time to help us. Thank you.
You got it, brother.
Question about my I-751 that I'm now putting. And it comes on I think it's the part 5 that asks by kids. Does that is about kids that we have in together since we got married? Is that kids that the other person has alone with, or is it kids that I also have? Or should I put all the kids? It doesn't matter if they are mine, it doesn't matter if it's the other. How does that go?
I think that the first place I would begin is, what did you list on the I-130? Did you list all the kids of everybody, or what did you list?
Yeah, well, we had to put everybody. I think that
I would do that again.
On that, I think they specify better, because they specify if my kids, they specify my partner's kids, so it's easier to go by there. On this one, that's the question, because some people, I've been trying to watch some YouTube videos, and some say it's only kids that live with you.
No, I would list all children.
Yeah, that might be the best option. Another quick question that I would like to ask. My permanent card, it's going to run out on 20th of August. I still have time. I know it's getting short time. I need to put them TikTok. I have everything ready. It's just that I've been having a bit more of questions. So after the show, I'm going to fill it in with all the kids, put all the paperwork together, and send it tomorrow morning. As long as I keep the proof that it was sent to USCIS, I shouldn't have any problem, even if and what should I do if I only get an answer from them after the 20th of August?
It's okay. You'll get the extension letter, and the extension letter will just automatically extend it from August 20th, 2022 to August 20th, 2024. So you should be fine. So
they give me that time until starting everything. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
Bye, Pedro.
Enjoy your holiday.
See you, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
All right, what a nice fellow Pedro was. Let's say hi to Nikki. Hi, Nikki. You're on mute.
Can you hear me?
I got you now.
Okay, great. I think there's some issues with my camera, so I just turn it off. I have a quick question. So I came here as a student, then I changed my status to an asylum seeker. I have a pending case right now since 2017, so still pending for almost 6 years. And I have that's crazy. That's really crazy.
Yep.
I've just like last year in September, I applied for my new EAD card, and I haven't received it yet. It's been almost over 9 months now. My current one expired in March, and this one, I mean, the 150 days is gonna be ended in September, and I'm really freaking out because without that, I can't continue working here. So what's gonna be the situation for me if I don't receive it by September?
Well, they did extend, didn't they? Didn't they extend? Isn't there an automatic extension now of EADs beyond the 150 days? Yeah, there is. Yeah, just like a month and a half ago, they extended. They made that all an automatic extension. Let me find it. Are you still there, Nikki?
Yeah, I'm here. I've read this. I've read it online, but I haven't received anything from them.
Yeah, you won't. It's just automatic now. They're not sending notices to everybody. So it's for 540 days.
So
you'll be
540
fine.
days in.
540 days from the date that it expired.
Okay. Okay.
So that's almost a year, 18, it's like 18 months.
18 months from the time I applied, correct?
18 months from the expiration date.
Expiration date. Okay. And then is there anything I can do regarding my interview? Because I've been waiting for over 6 years now.
Did you file with a lawyer or did you file on your own?
Yes, they keep telling me I don't have a specific lawyer. I talked to some lawyers specifically. I tried to call you for some reason. Your office told me to call you in January. I reached out in January. No one connected me to you. So I would love to hire you. I mean, I don't mind
Okay.
it, but
here's
I've
the
heard
thing.
you wanted to sue USCIS, and I'm down.
Right, but here's what I want to know about your underlying asylum case. Did an attorney prepare that or did you prepare that?
Okay.
Did you hear me?
Sorry, you were breaking out. What did you say?
I'm trying to figure out if an attorney prepared your I-589 and all the supporting documents, or if you did that without an attorney.
Oh, without an attorney. I did it myself.
Okay, so what we're telling people who filed asylum applications on their own, especially from 6 years ago, that the best thing to do is to send us the application and what you submitted. We can take a look at it and tell you whether or not we think you should hire us just to sue them, or if you should hire us to make the case better and then sue them.
Okay. Is there an email address? I can email this to you. How it's gonna work?
Yeah, just say I was on the show today, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Say I was on the show. I was on at around the 40-minute mark, and I want help with my asylum case.
Okay, got it. Okay, I will email it to you shortly. Thank you.
Thanks, Nikki. Have a good day.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. All right, let's say hi to Sean. Hi, Sean.
Yes, let me unmute. Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite fine. I'm going on an interview on Thursday, right?
What kind of interview?
I-751 to remove condition.
Married or single?
Married.
And why do you think they scheduled it for an interview?
I don't know. But
Everything-
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I did get charged for violating a TPO.
Okay. Involving your spouse or involving somebody else?
Somebody else.
Okay. All right. And what do you want to talk a little bit about what that was? Was it what I want to know is, was it a romantic thing or not a romantic thing?
Not romantic. It was a business partner.
Okay. So they might not know that, right? They might just see the TPO violation and think that you have some sweetie on the side, right? So that's probably one thing. Where will your interview be?
Atlanta.
Okay. So what's the question?
Because I look up online that is a deportable violation.
Can be. Yep.
So,
I mean, were there aggravating circumstances? Like, did you get arrested for that, or just a ticket,
yes.
or what? You get arrested? Yeah. Yeah. So you probably want to talk to a lawyer. And with the interview being on Thursday, you probably want to move more quickly than usual. I have a friend down in Atlanta. His name's Michael Urbina. You might want to call him. Urbina. And you can tell him you were on the show today and that you've got sort of an urgent matter. Tell him that I suggested he give you a call. He's a real good guy.
Michael
Urbina. Urbina.
Okay, what's his phone number?
I don't know, but you got to look it up on the internet.
Okay, so it's Michael
Urbina Law Firm.
Urbina. Can you
Yeah.
spell your last name?
Sure. U-R-B like boy, I-N like Nancy, A, Urbina.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Good luck, Sean. See you, buddy. All right, let's say hi to Farzana. Hi, Farzana.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm not good actually. You know, my husband abandoned me and my kids in India, so
Yeah.
he left for without informing us. And basically, his family's in India too. We came here to visit our parents, and we attended a wedding and everything. Everything was going smoothly. He just left without informing me. He took all my passports and everything with him. So I called the St. Louis Police Department. So when they did go to his house, like our house, which was in Maryland Heights, St. Louis, so he mailed me the passports, the new passports, and the kids' new passport. They are US citizens, and the OCI cards. So basically, he made sure that he did not file any H4 for me. Basically, I had to go for visit visa, DS 160, but the line for the visit visa is for like the appointment timings are after 2 years. It's 2024.
In India?
And I was on H4. H1B, yeah. So he did not schedule my appointment. Everything was fraud. Basically, he's a fraud. It was a 12-year marriage, and he planned for like 6 years against me. So the plan is like he wants to, I think, divorce me in India and take the kids back and take their custody and take the kids back to US. So the only thing I want is to right now, the kids' school are starting next month, and I'm trying to contact you from like last 12 days through emails and through phone calls. And my friend did go to Darul Salam Masjid. Your friend Adil Imdad, he's the Muslim community head. So basically, I'm from that community. So you know, I don't know, sir. I need your help. I don't know what to do.
I'm really
How do I
sorry,
come
Farzana.
back?
From an immigration standpoint, there's nothing I can do. From an immigration standpoint, there's nothing that can be done. I'm very sorry that you're going through this, and it sounds like your husband's a real asshole, but there's nothing that from an immigration standpoint in this particular situation where all you had was an H4 possibility through him. We've actually been, my office has worked with a buddy of mine who does divorce law, and this actually happens more often than you think, where the H-1B visa holder can really harm the H-4 visa holder. But there's not, from an immigration standpoint, there's nothing that I can do.
So there is, if I come through DS 160 or any emergency visas won't help, like if I apply for any emergency visas?
I don't know of anything called an emergency visa. There's not really something
Because
called an emergency visa.
So that they have like a medical emergency or the like, you know, for a student to file, nothing like that.
No.
So basically, I'm stuck here with U.S. citizens, and there's nothing help. No, sir, at all.
There's not, Farzana. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, good luck. That's a real tricky situation when there's when you're dependent on, if you're an F2 and you're dependent on an F1 visa holder, or if you're an H4 dependent on an H1B visa holder, they have an unusually and unfairly high ability to mess with your immigration status. It's really unfortunate. And the reason I know that is because we've had 2 or 3 of these situations in the past, and we've spent a lot of time researching it, trying to see if, like Farzana said, there's something that you can do, but there's simply nothing to do, even with U.S. citizen children. So we're sorry about that. Let's say hi to Saad. Hi, Saad.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good.
Good. Jim, I would like to tell you what has happened to me when I was in the USA.
Okay.
Actually, I went to the USA with through student visa. Hi, Jim.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You came to the United States on a student visa. Go ahead and tell your story.
Yes. And I met, and during my study, I met my ex-wife.
Keep going. I'm right here. Just keep going, Saad. Don't keep stopping. Just tell your story.
We get married eventually. We know each other for almost 1 year before we get married, and then we get married, and then we went to the immigration. We hired an immigration lawyer, but actually this immigration lawyer wasn't helpful. So we went to the immigration interview, and my wife, she pulled the petition. She pulled the I-130.
Why'd she do that? Saad, are you there? Saad. All right, Saad. Sorry about that. There's something wrong with your connection or something. Hi, Kapil.
Hi, Jim. So my question is, I have applied for marriage-based adjustment of status, and I'm currently on F1 visa, going to school and doing internship.
Okay.
Now, in I-485, I answered a question: have you violated your non-immigrant visa? And I answered that in yes, and I explained that I was supposed to be working as per my CVs for a company, but I was not working for a couple of months. My question is, what happens now? Will they cancel my CVs?
You mean you had 90 days of unemployment? You mean?
The unemployment is when you tell the college that you are not working. I told the college that I was working, but I was not working for a month or two. That, if you do even for a day, is violation.
Yeah.
So what will USCIS do now? Revoke my F1 or cancel my CVs before interview, after interview? Exactly when?
Your spouse is a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Okay, so have you ever violated the terms or conditions of your non-immigrant status? Yes. How did you violate the terms of your non-immigrant status? I violated.
The exact line was.
I'm thinking, Kapil. Just give me a second. I'm thinking out loud of how I would answer the question. I mean, number one is you probably want to bring a lawyer to your interview. You probably don't want to go to this one by yourself. But above and beyond that, what I'm wondering is, could we carefully answer the question in a way that sort of is honest, but doesn't reveal too much? I violated the terms of my F1 because I was in OPT and I was unemployed, and I didn't properly notify the university of that. That's what happened.
But I have filed the form already, and I have not carefully answered it.
Oh, like you included a description of what happened?
Yeah.
Well, what did you say in your carefully written description?
Yeah, the not so carefully written description was
correct. The not so skillfully crafted.
As per CVS, I was working for a company, and that company did not give me any work, and I did not inform college or CVS system that there's actually no work going on. It was a voluntary work, which may be a technical violation.
Oh, I think you're okay. I think they're gonna. I don't think. Which field office?
Chicago.
I think 90+% you sail right through. I think there might be a little bit of a problem where they might think you made a misrepresentation to obtain an immigration benefit. That is the continuation of your CVIS status. I could see them maybe taking that position, and then you would need a waiver.
What's bad if I needed a waiver anyways?
Waivers are a total pain in the ass. They're expensive and they're hard, and you don't always win. You have to show that it would be an extreme and exceptional hardship for your spouse if you were not given a green card and had to leave the United States. It's a whole different thing. It puts your case on a totally different trajectory. It takes an extra year. It's a lot of extra work, and you have to find something special or particular about your spouse that is different than other people, and you have to explain to them why they should let you get a green card.
Because I overstayed, because I violated the visa term.
Because you misrepresented what was going on to the university. Allegedly. I'm not saying that you did. I'm saying they could take that position. I don't think you did. I think you're okay, but that's because I love you. I'm not them.
can I change my response that it was a misunderstanding from my side?
Well, I think that what I would say, Kapil, is that we got to like talk it all through. I think we got to make sure that I'd want to look at what you wrote. I'd want to look at the question. I'd want to look at the timeline. The timeline is going to be really important here. I liked what you said a minute ago, which was pretty much through no fault of your own, the place you were supposed to work just didn't give you any work. So that
Yes.
to me makes you more sympathetic, and that to me makes me wonder when. I think if I
This
were
was 5 years ago, by the way. How does that help?
no, it doesn't matter. I think if I were your lawyer, I would try to be a little bit creative on what actually constitutes unemployment, and maybe try to come up with an argument. Now that I'm Kapil's lawyer, can I say, hey, he's not a lawyer. He answered that question wrong. He didn't understand what he was saying. When he talked to me and when I went through it, I was able to establish that no, he wasn't in violation because he hadn't done anything wrong, and he wasn't on duty to report to the university until such and such a date, which was, I don't know. But again, we can't talk about all this in front of everybody so much, and I need to look at everything.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Do you
Thank
have
you so
an
much.
interview coming up?
No, I just filed like 2
Oh.
weeks ago and got the biometrics appointment.
All right, buddy. Well, let's talk about it.
Sure.
Thanks, Kapil. See
Thank
buddy.
you. Thank you.
You got it. All right. I think Saad is back. Let's see if we can get Saad. Saad?
Yeah.
right.
Jim,
Let's keep
hi,
it-
Jim. Hi.
Keep it quick. F1, married a U.S. citizen. She filed an I-130. Then what happened?
Yeah, they issue me social security number and work authorization,
Okay.
immigration.
Okay.
And then me and my wife, she pulled the petition because she think we need more time to know each other.
You
My
mean at
ex-wife.
the interview? At the interview, she pulled it.
Yeah.
Did she pull it
And-
after? Were you separated when she pulled it, or were you still together in the room?
Not together. We live together.
No. That's what I'm saying. When she pulled the I-130, were you sitting next to her in the same room, or were you in a different? room?
No, different room.
So they separated you and your wife, and they convinced her to withdraw the I-130.
They did not convince her. I think she pulled it by herself.
Okay. Then what happened? Then what
Yeah.
happened?
Then we fight together about what's happened,
Okay.
and then we separated.
Yeah.
And then my wife, she emailed me. She asked me to fix the situation. And then we file another I-130.
Wait a minute. Your wife withdrew the I-130, and then she emailed you to ask you to fix the situation?
Yeah, after 6 months, she called me to fix this.
You made up, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So she withdraws the I-130. You guys make up, and then you file a new I-130. Then what happened?
We filed another I-130 after 6-8 months.
Yeah.
Because she was willing to help me, actually.
You mean because she loved you and she wanted to sponsor her husband for a green card, not that she wanted to help you?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
In 2016, we missed the immigration interview.
Why?
Because immigration didn't send it to our address. They sent it to my friend's address.
Why did they send it to your friend's address? Is that the address that you used on your I-130?
No, I didn't. I told him to send it to my address, and he said he will send.
How did they have your friend's address?
My friend, he went with me to them. He joined me. He go with me to help me.
You mean, did you use your friend?
He went with me to immigration, Jim.
Okay.
No, Jim. This friend, he tried to help me.
Okay. Doesn't sound like it, but okay.
And then he went with me and my ex-wife to immigration.
Okay.
And they sent the the notice to his address. Me and my wife, we missed it. And we asked immigration for help, but the immigration officer was so mean, and he denied the case again.
Yeah, of course
he denied it.
Yeah.
So he denied it. the question is later on my ex-wife, and then he asked us to for motion to reopen the case.
Okay.
The immigration officer, he said we can apply for motion to reopen the case again.
Okay.
But me and my wife, we was struggling financially. We couldn't do this actually.
Okay.
So eventually we agreed to divorce each other.
Okay.
Okay. And then my wife, she wrote immigration letter to help me, to immigration to help me, because we need to remarry each other. And the immigration arrested me. They arrested me.
Yeah, because you're out of
Okay.
status.
And
Yeah.
I asked for voluntary departure, Jim.
Okay.
I asked the immigration officer for judge for voluntary departure. And now, this in June 2017, me and my wife, we want to marry each other.
The same lady?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Can we do this, Jim?
I think the chances of it working are 1% or 2%. I don't think the file is too. I mean, I don't know if they're ever going to give you a green card. I think they think you were here playing games. You talked someone into filing an I-130 to help you out. Then she withdrew it. Then you got her to refile it, and then you didn't show up for your interview, and you used some weird ass friend's address, and then you got voluntary departure, and now you've just convinced her a third time to file a new I-130 for you. I don't think you're coming to the United States.
I can't.
I think it'd be a total waste of money. I think the chances of it working are 1 or 2 out of 100.
If we get married, it's not gonna work, Jim.
I think if you got married today, had 3 kids, and built a life separate from each other over the next 5 years, you'd still have a very, very small chance. I bet you $10 that there's stuff in your immigration file that says you're a fraud.
They said this is fraud marriage.
Yeah.
How can you know this, Jim?
I'm guessing.
How can you know?
I'm guessing. I'm thinking they probably put something in your file that said there's something weird about these two. This would be. I mean, I've heard of people filing 2 different I-130s for someone, but I've never heard of 3.
No, not the 3, Jim. We divorced each other, and I asked for voluntary departure. Now I'm in my country. She's in America, and she wants to come to my country to remarry me again.
So, but then file an I-130 for you, right?
Yes.
That'd be the 3rd one, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. No, I think that's not going to work.
It's not gonna work.
No.
Never.
I said 1 out of 100, 2 out of 100. I don't think so.
Okay. What can I do, Jim? What should I do?
I think even if you married a brand new lady, they're not going to, I think the chances are 1 or 2%. They're not going to let you back in the United States. They think you engaged in marriage fraud. They think that was a fake marriage. They think you took voluntary departure and were properly deported, and they're not going to let you back in.
Okay. So your advice to not try it again.
That's my advice.
Because my ex-wife, she called me almost every day. She wants us to remarry each other.
Say, that's fine, baby, but you got to come live with me here because I'm not going to be able to come to the United States. I mean, I guess if you got married and she stayed with you for 2 or 3 years and then she applied, maybe it would work, but I don't think so. I think right now everything's just you guys messed it up way too much.
Okay. How about Canada, Jim? Can I apply to Canada?
I have no idea, Habibi. I don't know anything about Canada.
Okay, Jim. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good luck, Todd. See you, buddy. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. That'll do it for today's show. We went over a little bit. Tomorrow, we'll be back with Huli and I, all you guys. Sorry I didn't get to everybody, but we'll be back at 3 o'clock tomorrow answering all of your questions. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.